Now, the Tuscaloosa Chevrolet Sports Update with WVUA's Gary Harris.
Welcome back, everybody. A March Madness update in a moment, but first we're talking SEC baseball tonight. Alabama off to a 5-1 start in the SEC at 0-6. Auburn, first game of a 3-game series. A beautiful evening for baseball at Plainsman Park, and Alabama took advantage. Top second, no score. Austin Smith off Connor Kendrick. Get that pitch out of here. His second, only Bama's 6th home run as a team on the season, but that made it 1-0. And Alabama was just getting started. The third was the big inning for Bama. They scored 4 runs, one already in when senior Brett Booth doubled with the bases loaded, scoring Kenny Roberts and Georgie Salem. That made it 4-0. Next hitter is Smith again. Actually, there were 2 on. Both of them came in to score. And not a home run this time, but a single. And then Cullen Wacker boots it in left field, allowing Booth to score easily. Smith goes on to third. Alabama led it 5-0, and the Tide got 8 strong innings on the hill from starting pitcher Charlie Sullivan. He gave up 5 hits, 1 run, and struck out 7 while only walking 1. And he got out of a bases-loaded jam in the bottom of the third when he got Garrett Cooper to ground into a 6-4-3 double play with 1 out. Alabama wins it 6-2. Game 2 of the series tomorrow night at 6. It'll wrap up on Saturday afternoon. But Bama off to a great start in that series down at Auburn. One other weekend SEC baseball series got underway tonight. Texas A&M is playing a 3-game set at South Carolina, and the Gamecocks won Game 1 this evening 3-2. All of the other SEC series will begin on Friday. March Madness update. We can't show you any highlights. They're embargoed because of all the television rights for CBS and PBS, but we can give you the scores. East Regional semifinals at Washington, D.C. Marquette, this one was never close. The final score, not indicative. Marquette dominated this game, knocking off the Hurricanes 71-61. Meanwhile, in Game 2, Marquette waiting to play the winner of Syracuse and Indiana. This has tightened up. Syracuse led by as many as 16 in the first half. Right now, it's a 9-point game in the second half. Meanwhile, out west in Los Angeles at the West Regional, Ohio State pulls it out. They got a 3-pointer from LaQuinton Ross with 2 seconds to go after Mark Lyons had tied it with an acrobatic 3-point play for the Wildcats. But the Buckeyes advanced to the Elite 8 again this season, 73-70 over Arizona. They'll play the Wichita State LaSalle winner. It looks like the clock's about to strike midnight for Cinderella LaSalle. Wichita State up big at half, 38-22 is the score. Well, you seem to hear this every time there's a coaching change. The players always say, there's a new attitude. Auburn football players, no different. The players say Gus Malzahn's direction is a lot different than the one under the previous coach, Gene Chizik. They're fired up, they're excited, and everything's looking good after just one spring practice.
Well, I've noticed that the attitude changing of the team as a whole, the first day of workouts, you know, with Coach Russell and everything. So, I mean, from there on, it's just been getting better and better and better, and guys really getting on the same page, and really us coming together and knowing what we want as a team.
It felt like we had something to prove now. Like, it felt like a new era, you know. Like, now we got a new coach. I mean, even though I'm familiar with Malzahn, but it feels like it's just a new impression, like everyone just has a new character to have like the opportunity to get back on track, just to get our edge back.
Let's talk a little racing. Qualifying on the Sprint Cup circuit has always been about speed, obviously, but this year it's even more so. Carlos Diaz has the story in this week's NASCAR Minute.
A greater emphasis is being placed on speed this season when it comes to qualifying, as the fastest 36 cars will now automatically qualify for races.
It just didn't seem right to me that, you know, you could be the slowest car there Friday and Saturday, but you were going to race on Sunday just because of where you stacked up in points. So I like the changes. I think the fans are going to like the changes. You know, they seem like their voice was heard.
You know, it puts a little more urgency into everybody to be able to try to put themselves in a position to qualify, and always adds some excitement as you get towards the end of the weekend. But I still think as you go back, I think you're going to see a lot of the same people making the races and doing the things they have to do to qualify in the top 35.
Well, that puts a lot of pressure on people to step their game up qualifying, and you know, you got to qualify every week, and so that focus is going to be there for the driver to not make mistakes and get the best lap he can.
The NASCAR Minute, I'm Carlos Diaz.
And the Sprint Cup Series is taking the weekend off because of Easter. They'll be back at work next week at Martinsville. That's a look at sports. We're back after this.